Good afternoon. During the 10 years between 2008 and 2018 makes it a decade. And I'm finding the directors who made plays at the Old Town Playhouse in Traverse City, Michigan, and giving them a memory in a video for their family members, children, and especially to them, so they can look back standing on their theater stage. And this time is Director Michael Nunn.
At the beginning of this flashback, the direction is that you exit. I'm not absolutely positive I'm going to have you exit. Because I think it might cause more disruption going into the flashback, because the flashback happens everywhere. I think we've got Morgan, Harriet, and you, and I want you to be able to use everything rather than to have it happen in one little place. And it might be interesting to have Sebastian just tune out. I don't know yet. You can tune out, can't you, Michael? Huh? I thought so. Okay. I believe what I first read on the page, and I believe everything that's come off the page. You know, I've had a lot of experience here. I've had 30 years of experience here, and so it's not just me being hopeful. This is based on my experience that we have a strong vehicle that I mean, when you came in, you saw just what we've created here, and what they do in real time with their bodies, their tools on stage, is just going to be a compliment to everything else here.
On the matter of polygamy, I've never met a man who satisfied me, let alone worthy enough of pleasing several women at the same time. Could we please change the subject?
That's a very good idea. Maybe I couldn't have said it better myself.
Did you hear Ezra Pound's been arrested? I just read it in the newspaper recently.
No, what were the charges?
I heard it. It's not worth mentioning.
What, did they discover him drunken and divorced with several women?
Morgan had been home on leave. Oh, he looked so handsome. And he had a sparkle of pride in his eyes I hadn't seen in a very long time. At last, his life was part of something larger than himself. And he was leaving behind a past that made him feel lesser of a man. Oh, you should have seen him there standing all tall and proud.
And these are scenes that you could take them right out of the context of the play and run them in front of the class, because they have all of the earmarks of what good acting requires.
Like who?
Harriet.
What are you talking about?
Look, the one thing this war has taught us is that people do die. Have you noticed how Mrs. Browning doesn't come outside since she lost her son? She was so proud the day he enlisted, bragged how he'd come home a hero. Then one drizzly day they come knocking on her doorstep, and it's as if somebody just drained the life from her. Overnight she became an empty shell, and I don't want to be like her.
Oh, you won't be.
How do you know?
Well, I just do.
I knew it would be like this before he left. We sat on the porch talking about our future once the war was over, trying to convince ourselves our separation would be a brief one. His words said one thing while his eyes said another. You know, at the train station, I gave him a picture of me. I couldn't tell him what I really wanted to say.
And so My favorite scene right now in the whole play is the scene at the train station.
I know you don't want to hear this, but if anything should happen to me, I want you to live a happy life, Mariam Jablonski. Do you understand?
No, you're right, I don't want to hear this.
Let me have my say. It's my only chance to tell you how much I love you. You're young, and if I don't return, I want you to live a full life. But you've got to promise me that whenever you smell the sweet cherry blossoms carried on the wind, you'll hear me whispering in your ear how you were the love of my life, and how our baby son and I will be waiting on the other side. Can you promise me that, Mariam Jablonski?
Oh God, Dad, I can. I promise never to forget you, Morgan. This play has come home to me.
It's a goodbye scene, and it is a tearjerker. What does it take to make a tearjerker? I mean, does it take good writing? Does it take the right story? It's probably a combination of those things. And Michelle Dungeon and Jan Dalton, who kind of spearhead that scene. I've seen this in rehearsal now probably, well, several dozen times, and I get choked up every time. Every time. So the dinner scene that spans the two acts is also a wonderful scene. It's for the most part very lighthearted. It turns sour at the end, but there's a solid 15-20 minutes of raucous good time at the table. And given that we're right around a season where people will be sitting around tables, I think that a lot of people will kind of get sparks of memories of things that are happening in their families around the table. So the table scenes are excellent.
He has nothing to do with
My
this.
God, Mother, he has everything to do with
Don't
this.
you raise your voice at me. Now, not in my home. I will never have it mentioned again. Do you hear me?
I'll leave then. You're the problem, only you can't see
Don't
it.
you disrespect me in my home. Come back here. We're not finished yet. Do you see what you've married? Morgan, come back here. We obviously, I want to talk to you, son.
And there's just no place where they drag anywhere.
Difficult to look past today.
I understand.
If you're asking, do I miss what we shared? Yes. Nights are the worst. There are times where I feel like I just reach out in the darkness and wrap my arms around him.
Hello?
Harriet?
Oh, what are you girls doing? Having a tea party without me?
There's a couple of compelling scenes that Richard has when he's recounting. One of them is a lie. He has to manufacture a scene in which he is an American soldier in Normandy. And it seems pretty clear from your writing that he is taking, he was there, but he was on the other side. So he's just kind of putting American uniforms on German soldiers and telling this story. And so it's no less compelling. And it's very violent and fortunately fairly brief to spare sensibilities. But then again at the very end when he has to be honest and is telling the real story of what happens to Morgan, there's not going to be a dry eye in the house.
We were pinned behind a short stone hedge. One of the boys got spooked, jumped up and ran to a patch of trees, but took a short burst in the back. Watching him fall, I lost my mind, crawled on my belly to his side. Wasn't sure if he was dead or not, but I got on one knee and threw him over my shoulder and started back to the others. I wasn't sure what hit me. Suddenly I was spinning in the air and, well, the next thing I saw were two beautiful eyes staring down at me.
Michelle, she's been kind of waiting for this because what she does is she responds to that. As Mariam, she can't be the aggressor. She has to respond to him. And everything that he summons from himself that's very uncomfortable to give to her, she just takes it up a notch. And so the scenes between them are just loaded with erotic tension. I'm a director who, I love to steal other people's ideas.
Excuse me, we're not children to be silenced.
Now let me intervene for a moment. Harriet, what is it that you're afraid of her saying?
She knows. Ask her.
Mabel, what's she concerned about?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Somebody help me here. Hey, Harriet!
It was Houdini's last performance.
Well, what's the problem with that?
He ruptured his appendix and died 5 days later in the hospital.
That's enough, Richard. There will be no more talk of death in this house.
All right, Harriet.
No.
Let's talk about it.
No, there will only be happy thoughts. Do you hear me? I won't have any more talk of death. Do you understand?
Yes, we hear you. We're going to change the subject now.
And so I'm always open to, you know, what are you thinking? What do you think you're going to do here? And so we've got a moment, of course, as you know, Mariam in the final scene has to pull the gun out. And so there's a moment in which the audience is not going to know whether someone is going to be killed right on stage.
By the way that she's portraying it.
And it's not at the moment that you think. I mean, you would think under the fear of a stranger being in your kitchen in the middle of the night, that would be the most dangerous moment. This is based on my experience that we have a strong vehicle that I mean, when you came in, you saw just what we've created here. And what they do in real time with their bodies, their tools on stage, is just going to be a complement to everything else here. And I'm not even going to try to predict what that's going to be. I'm just going to let it happen. But I know it's going to be good. I'm thrilled. I'm very excited and filled with anticipation. I just, it's funny because typically I stay away from opening nights. I think this is an opening night that should not be missed. And not just because I'm directing it, it's because this is a brand new play. No one has seen this before, and so it puts a whole different thing on opening night. I'm pretty sure that closing night will be more polished than tonight will be. But this is not a play that aims to be polished. This is a play that just tells it like it is. What was it about this script that grabbed me? Because it wasn't just me. I heard these kinds of stories from almost everyone that I talked to in the cast or associated with the production of this. Somehow this brings up very personal reminiscences, and it doesn't have to be about war. This is a family here. I think Wayne Erreca has done justice to the American family. Absolutely. With this play.
And so did you, Michael Nunn.
Yes,
you did.
Good morning. This is my book, and this is where I put all of my play reviews right in here. And here's a few words, and the play is The 39 Steps. For lovers of exquisite film, The 39 Steps offers a hilarious evening of laughs, blood-pulsing action, and it will keep you guessing on the edge of your seat, where spies and assassins roam the Scottish moors, and tantalizing women entice a man on the run, in Hitchcockian style, where evil villains go unrevealed until that very last mind-boggling moment. Brilliantly directed and ingeniously acted and superbly supported, The 39 Steps is a wonderful evening at the theater. I got through there.